up. We're still admitting people. That's also good too. So anyway, as I said, welcome to the last winter session of our Tech Labs. It is sort of still the winter. It's been pretty cold out, so we'll continue this as a winter session. This is the last session for the winter season. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Pam Duran, and those of you who've been on these before, you know her, and if you don't know her, Pam is an education technology specialist, which is a very important position. She's got a master's in learning and emerging technology. I have an echo here for some reason. Do you hear that, Pam?
I think it was Kathy. Go ahead.
All right. Anyway. Oh, thank you. That was good. Thank you. So anyway, she works with numerous classrooms in, sorry, I'm getting this feedback here. She's got numerous awards and certifications in education, technology, language, and learning. And she's here to teach us as well. She's also speaks fluent Spanish. She's a national champion in Taekwondo. And every session, I say some little known tidbit or fact about Pam, and this one is near and dear to me. So Pam has been teaching and training and instructing us for 6 years now. In case you have been here from the very beginning, Pam's been with the Rojan Library Tech Labs for 6 years, which translates to 2 seasons a year. So that would be 12 weeks out of every year that she teaches us something really interesting and very, very helpful. 12 weeks a year comes out to about I'm saying over 6 years, Pam, you've taught and instructed about over 1,000 people that have come through the library, through our Tech Labs. I would even say 1,500, but I don't know, that might be a little exaggerated. But so over the last 6 years, there have been new and old and repeat people, but there's a lot of new people, and I'm going to give you credit and thank you very much for being our tech guru. And we love having you here, and we love having you to continue this for years to come. So 6 years and running, thank you for being our technology guru. And we're going to talk tonight about traveling apps and for, as you say, Pam, wanderlust, people who really want to go someplace and know how to do it correctly and with a lot of fun. Pam will tell you. So thanks, Pam. Really appreciate you being here for all these years.
Well, thank you so much. And this has really been a pleasure because I'm a nerd who loves to teach. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. Or should I say a nerdess? It sounds a little fancier.
Nerdess is good.
A nerdess. So tonight we're going to talk about ways that your phone and your computer can be your best friend with travel planning, getting around a strange city, and including how to communicate in other languages. And to look at a menu that's printed in a different language and be able to order from it. So it's we're going to do a trip into Google Maps, which some of you may be using already, but there's some hidden tools in there that I like to use that I'm going to share with you tonight. I'm also going to show you my absolute favorite trick I didn't know Google could do until it was an accident, which is to find out when your flight is going to be coming in and what gate it'll be at, rather than trying to call the airline or try to, dig through their app or look up your tickets. So that was something that it was a nice surprise. And then something that's close to my heart, which is machine translation, which is having your computer translate a language for you without the need of a person. So at the end of the night, we'll all be able to speak 80 languages. So we'll pretend we're polyglots. Why not? It was always been a dream of mine, but I don't think I'm fluent in Spanish. I think I can be understood in Spanish with a smile. That's how I like to term it. So I'm going to first start off and share my screen, and I'm going to use my computer. I'm going to switch back and forth from time to time to my phone, and I'll let you know when it's my phone. Beth, did you have a question or do you have sun in your eyes? Just sun in your eyes. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So the first tip I'm going to give you is if you are on Google, and it's just plain old Google search. Excuse me. Let's get this out of my way here. So on Google, if you go to a Google search, and I have this flight number, WN179. and I'm in the car and I'm going to pick up a loved one, and if I just search that right in the middle of the screen, I get this status. It's telling me it didn't leave Baltimore yet. If it was in flight, this little plane would be moving along on the timeline, so you can see how long it'll be until they get to their destination. And you'll also get the terminal and what gate you can be expected at. So if you happen to be traveling and you're in the airport, I love to use this as a quick check to make sure that my gate didn't change or my terminal didn't change before I start heading there. And when I land too, I check after they say it's allowed to use your cell phones, of course. I check and see where my gate is. I have found, and I'm not going to guarantee this, but when the weather's kind of sketchy or you're not sure if the airline's going to cancel your flight or not, I've used this app and I've kind of got a little bit of a head start on rebooking my flight, because I say about 80% of the time, this Google site, just by typing in my thing here, my flight number, it told me that it was canceled or delayed. So it gave me a chance to quickly go ahead and start trying to get a new flight. So, and again, this is just putting in my flight number. You see, I didn't even put Southwest. My flight was WN 179 Southwest. Not all flights are available this way. I don't think JetBlue works. So, or it's certain flights that'll work, but most of them will. So if you just type in the flight, and it looks like there's a lot of questions here. Oh, great tip. Great, guys. I'm glad you can use this one. Like I said, this is one of my favorite, because I absolutely hate trying to get through to the plane, especially if it's bad weather and you're trying to call the airline or the airport and trying to find out. This is quick, fast, easy. So the next thing I'm going to show you, and many of you may have gone to this with your phones, gone to this Google Maps. And you're going to see we're going to land right here in beautiful Hillsdale. There's the Rojan Brewery. Now, if I wanted to search for a place in anywhere in the world, essentially, but if I'm going to go to, let's go to Walmart. Everyone goes to Walmart. Let's go to Walmart in Hudson. We all know where that is. Hudson, New York. So you'll see I'll start getting my hits here and have Fairview Avenue, Hudson, New York. And get a very helpful photograph of here. So this shows me, here's Walmart out in Hudson. You can tell that Lowe's is here, Lowe's Garden Center. But if you go over here to the bottom left, you get a few more options for looking at this map. So you can look at the terrain, the traffic, the satellite image. So if I click on satellite image, I'll get an overhead view of Hudson, and you can get an idea of what's parking, what's around you, all these different areas. So if you're trying to figure out, is that a dirt road or is it a, highway, and you want to get a better look, you can. If I click on layers again, you can click on traffic, and you can see what traffic is like. So you can see anything here in green, and it gives you as fast traffic, slowing down by the traffic lights, and slow. So if you're planning a trip, say to somewhere far away, and you want to see what the traffic situation is like, you get these helpful colored lines. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see. So here in beautiful Columbia County, we don't deal with a lot of traffic unless it's harvest time and the tractors are out there. But on Albany, you can see things are yellow in different colors here. Over here, we have some trouble over in Springfield. We also have a road closure. So if you hover over anything, you can find out what's going on with live traffic. Let's see, there's a question in the chat. And Glenda also has a very good tip in the chat about the FAA also giving you real-time airport delays and ground stops as well. So it can't hurt to check both places. Thank you. Okay. So now I have searched for Walmart, and I've zoomed out here, and I'm going to go back to the Walmart Supercenter here. Okay, so let's say I'm new to the area and now I want to get to Walmart. I have the option here of selecting directions. And I can pick my location. Let's go by car here a second. And it will tell me it's going to take me 29 minutes to get there. There's no tolls. There's no traffic. And if I were to send this to my phone, it would give me turn-by-turn directions. Now, let's go to a different place, and I'm going to show you the features of using. Let's go to Grand Central Station.
Excuse
And
me,
we're
ma'am.
gonna-
Teresa has a really nice suggestion also that recently you can search for nearest rest areas. Do you know how to do that? Rest areas, I don't know where that would be that on your map, but you can.
Okay, hang on. I'm getting close this. Recently, you can search for near rest areas too. This is true, Teresa. You can search by rest areas on your phone, and it'll even tell you. I don't know how great this is, but it'll tell you if there's a speed trap and let you know if there's a cop hiding. So if you're someone with a sports car, might be good information. Okay. So from here, I have selected, we're going from Walmart down to Grand Central Terminal down here. So if I were to hit my leave now, send the directions to my phone, I can then research this, send it to my phone, and it'll ask me, is this your phone? Yep. Or do I want to email it? Or do I want to text it? So if you have a family member or someone you want to, come to my house, you can put your address in there, their address, and then send directions and have it text to them. So if you have a family member who's lost or they can't get around, can you just find me the directions to the doctor's office and send me a text? You can do that from here. So let's get down to New York City. Let's see. Grand Central Terminal. I'm going to zoom down there. Okay, so here we are in Grand Central Station. And I'm going to say I want to go to the Museum of Natural History from there. Let's see. Museum of Natural History. There it is in Central Park. And we're coming there from Grand Central Terminal. Okay. Take a moment. I don't make sense to the phone. Okay, so I have my directions here. And if you look at the top here, you have driving directions. But if I click this and switch to transit, it will tell me which subways to take, when how long it'll take you to take that subway. If you want to walk there, it'll give you walking directions. And this is key because there's a lot of one-way streets in some cities. And if you just use it set on car, it may make you do some extra mileage with your feet and wear down the soles of your shoes. Where if you set it towards to walking or biking, it'll give you options that are not often available to a car. So like here, the biking instructions will take you right through Central Park to get there. So, and it will be the fastest way to go through there. So you can change how you want to go there. And what I like doing in New York City, because I don't want to walk around holding my phone in front of me, or say if you're in Paris or Rome, you don't want to walk around with your phone out. I just have one earbud in me. And when I hit go, it will give me turn by turn. So when I get to that spot where I need to make a right or a left turn, it'll say make a left on, Front Street, make a left, turn right, and it'll tell me go to the next, and it'll give me those instructions in my ear. So I don't have to be staring at my phone and trying to make sense of the map and then have, unfortunately, someone like grab my phone out of my hand or have me, lose it. I like to keep my eyes open when I'm in a city environment.
Question in the chat.
And then Sigrid said, how did I switch the start point and the destination? Did the directions switch to the history and the central station? Yes, let me show you. So over here on the left, I have American Museum of Natural History is my starting point, and Grand Central is where I'm going to. Now, if I was going the opposite way, say if I was doing the return trip, I can click this arrow here and it will reverse the directions for me. So now I'm leaving from Grand Central Terminal and coming back to the Museum of Natural History. So you can swap your directions there. It'll also give you, if you're walking, the elevation. So sometimes you could look at one of these maps if you're planning on walking, and you suddenly see the elevation is really, really high and you're wearing not great sneakers or great shoes. You may look at that walking instruction and say, oh, it's not that far. But if the incline's like this, you might want to consider taking a cab instead. So with walking and biking, they give you this handy message of just how intense your walk will be through that city. So, if you map yourself through San Francisco, this is important. So I am going to now go back to the bottom here, and I'm going to click layers, and I'm going to look at a satellite picture. And I'm going to zoom in. So I'm just kind of pinching in a little bit here. And I see we're coming in on Hell's Kitchen here. It sounds like a scary place, right? Well, let's take a closer look. So if I said I'm going to be going to DeWitt Clifton Park, I want to see what the neighborhood's like. I want to see what the area is like if I'm going to be walking. On the bottom right, you'll see there's a little man here in yellow. And as I hover my hand, he starts leaning forward. If I click and drag him, I grab him by the scruff of his neck, and I can bring him to anywhere in the city where there's a blue line. And when I drop him, he's going to make me fall into the city. And now I can see what that area looks like from the ground. Now, if I wanted to take a look around me and not just this one picture, if I click my mouse and hold the button down and then drag in a circle, just my finger, I'm still holding the button on my mouse, I can take a look around and see what this area like. Okay, doesn't look like a bad neighborhood, looks like a nice place. Now on the bottom, where my finger is on this map, there is a circle with an arrow. If I click on that circle with an arrow, I'll start moving through this area. So if I want to take a nice big jump, see, I have my finger, the circle on the arrow at the bottom, click again, I'm moving. So I can take a quick look around and get a really good look of where I'm going to be going. So when I was going on a job interview, when I wanted to see what the doors look like, gives you a nice idea. Like, okay, I know I have to pass the Mercedes-Benz on my way to, because I've already done the walking trip. This is also a fun way to just visit the world. And I took my grandfather to his neighborhood where he grew up, and he just put his address in. I took the little yellow man, I dropped it, and we virtually walked around his neighborhood. And he told me this is where his friend lived. That's where he met grandma. So he did a nice tour of going back in time. And it was a wonderful thing for him to do, because at the time he was limited mobility. So I really couldn't take him back to his old neighborhood. But this way I could. So you can see you can jump around. There are a few places like great museums, and I'm going to return to my map view by clicking this over here, and that will bring me back up to the bring me back to map view here. Come on. Thank you. Took a little bit. I'm going to search for, and here's an example of a neat use of this. White House, Washington, D.C. It's loading. So you can see we're here in Washington, D.C. at the White House. And my little yellow man is down here on the bottom right. I'm going to click him. I'm going to drag him. And this time, instead of putting him on a road, I'm going to drop him right on top of the White House because the whole White House is blue. Whoop, whoop, whoop. My screen is jumping on me here. Come back here. Had a little bit of a glitch. One moment. It will let you go walk around inside the building. And there are quite a few museums and places of interest like this, excuse me, that allow you to do this. Don't want to book this right now, thank you. There's the White House. There's my yellow man. Here he is. We'll drop him to the White House. So you can see now I'm inside, it looks like the Blue Room, and I move around just like I did on the street. I can click and drag my mouse. I can hold down the mouse, move my finger to spin around the room, and I can use those arrows on the floor to explore.
That's pretty
Check
cool.
out the
I'm
different
sorry,
parts
I
of
have
the
to say
room.
that. It's very cool.
Thank you. Thank you. And this is, as a teacher, I can't afford to take the kids to a place like this, but I can take them this way. So if you do a search, and I'm just gonna pop out of here a second. If you do a search on Google for Street View Museums, and I'll put that in the chat, just stop sharing a second. You can go ahead and you can visit many, many museums this way. Street View Museums in Google. You'll find there's different places there. So I walked around the Egyptian pyramids. There are different places that I don't know if I'll have a chance to visit in my lifetime. So it's a great way to move around and do that. So those were virtual trips. Let's say we're ready to plan our real trip. Google has some great items that I use to plan my trips. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to search for Google Travel. And by searching for Google Travel, I have this website here. And it gives you ways to plan a trip. So let's someone just chime in, pick a destination. Where are we going to plan our virtual trip? We'll do this party of 26 going where?
Barcelona, Madrid, Spain.
Spain, Madrid.
Sure.
Okay, let's go. So we are going to Madrid, the capital of Spain. Okay. So first place here were things to do. So you can see these are the different sites that are available in Madrid. And these are most of the top sites. If I decided I definitely want to see this museum and Mercado de San Miguel, you can bookmark the items that you want to see, and then it updates your map over here. See, I have a bookmark here saying that's where I wanted to go. So you can go through and bookmark the different places that you want to visit in Madrid, and you end up building your own guide map of bookmarks. So I can see that these two items are close together. So maybe one of the days that I'm going to be in Madrid, I want to make sure that I see these two on the same day, and maybe this is a little bit further out. So it kind of helps you build an itinerary of what you're going to be doing. When I'm logged in as a Google, let's see here, it says my Google account. So I'm logged into Google. This bookmarks saves. So this handy map and guidebook that I'm customizing for myself on my phone, if I go to Google Travel, it's going to have this here on my side ready to go to help me get around. Okay. So these are my saved bookmarks. And you can see I have my saved places here. And that takes away all the noise, and it has just my bookmarks now in my guidebook that I'm building for myself. Along the top, we have a few more items here. I'm going to click Explore. And when I click Explore, it starts giving me some ideas of places I might want to go to. Well, I really would like to go to Madrid, but it looks like Algiers is a little cheaper. And Venice is not that far off in price either. Paris, wait, what's this? $648 to go to Paris? So you can get an idea of where's a great place to travel if you have a travel budget and you've got this open mind of where you want to travel. You don't have a specific family or an event you're trying to get to. You just want to see the world. Using Explore is a good way to find great prices to different parts of the world. And you open itinerary of, I want to do a 1-week trip in the next 6 months. Show me where I could go. So it's a good way to find a way to extend your travel dollars to see as many things here. And then it gives you your travel mode, which is see places reachable by plane, see by car or plane, how many stops you plan on doing. So if you only want a nonstop flight, one stop or fewer. And it doesn't have to be, travel to Europe or travel to somewhere exotic. It could be, I want to go from Albany to Orlando, Florida, because I have family there. Or I like to travel there because, I have 2 places. So here you can go, okay, Orlando, $161. When is that? May 7th through the 15th, a 1-week trip. So this is a nice way to explore, find cheap ways to travel. You can do the same thing for just specifically flights. So if you want to find out not only the best flights that are available, you can also go by admissions too. So if you're conscious about protecting the environment, you can check by admissions how long the flight is. So I like using this to find my flights as opposed to some of the other like kayaks and the bigger ones, because I just feel like there's too many tabs that open, and this is very clean. It's very easy for me to see around on here. I'm going to just check the chats for a second. Ballina, Ireland. Yeah, exactly. Then Teresa says, when you're in Puerto Rico and asking for walking directions to a local church, Google Maps told me it was dangerous to walk on certain streets. And this is true, and especially at certain times of night. And it does give you those options as well. If there's a high crime area, it is part of the walking instructions. Okay, so there. And then the same thing with hotels. I'm not going to go deep with this, but if you're planning a trip, it really does make things easier to see what's going on right there. Right, so we have you can see 4-star, they have a spa, they have a pool. So I like using this to get around. And then also it also develops this map here on the side. Okay, I'm going to go back a few to our original travel page where I was building my itinerary. Okay. I'm going to go here just to Google Travel again to get to the top. There's our Google Travel. There we go. So it also gives you potential trips based on your activity. So like I was recently in Saratoga Springs. Gives me suggested destinations, popular ones with the price, and your past trips. So let's go to Key West here a second. Now, when you do discover, like I'm discovering Key West, it'll tell you the average temperature that is going to be there, some of the things to do, some popular questions. When's the best time to go? Ask you about walking directions. If you want to stay there, they give you an idea of when is it the cheapest to go and stay in a hotel in Key West. Rear one is typical. So when you're in the green area, you're going to get a lesser price. And then they'll even aggregate some travel articles. So if you already know you're going there, you can see different articles that are based on Key West. What are the best snorkeling? Where are the best restaurants? And that is where you can discover your different places that you want to visit. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing a second. I know it's a lot of information there. The best way to play with this and learn more is to just play with it. Even if you're not planning on going somewhere, imagine your dream trip and see how far you can go and dive into it. And you can see the different areas that you can play with that Google Travel. I like it because it creates a little guidebook for me. And I'm kind of the person, like when I get there, I'm like, I'm here and I want to try and squeeze in as much as I can. I'm that kind of a traveler. So making my own guidebook, I find very, very helpful. If you're more relaxed, it works too, because you can find out where are the best beaches, where is a nice jazz club. You can find all of those things using that. Keep bookmarking and saving it until you build your own guidebook. Okay. So the next part I'm going to cover is, I'm going to join my phone and I'm going to use Google Translate, which is an app that you need to add to your phone. And I'm just going to share my screen here a second. Share. Screen. Start now. And you should see my cell phone now. I have added to my cell phone Google Translate. Now, does anyone here speak a second language? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute your microphone to let me know. I can use Spanish, if that's okay then. Okay. So on my Google Translate page here, I have enter text. At the bottom, I'm going from English and it's going to go to Spanish. So if I type, good evening. How are you? Whoops, excuse me. Very basic sentence here. You'll see that it comes up with the Spanish underneath. To the top right of Buenas noches, ¿cómo estás? I have a little speaker, a yellow speaker. If I click on that, make sure my volume's up, it will play that phrase out loud for me. Oh, let's get the volume up. Okay. Sounds like it's not listening here. Oh, probably because I didn't join audio. Anyway, but it will play it out loud for you. If I go back and I'm going to go to the top of my screen, to the left, to the arrow, I can switch to conversation mode, which is at the bottom of my screen next to the microphone. And if I put it in conversation mode, it will listen for both English and Spanish and do the translation for me. I don't have to type. Good evening. How are you tonight? And I think because it's in Zoom, it's not going to, let me just make sure. Let me try joining audio a second here. One moment. Go back here a second to Zoom. Video, join audio. Okay, can you still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Unmute. Okay, very good.
Prego.
The translate. Google Translate.
Pam, are you on mute? You're on mute somehow, I think.
Mute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now you're on. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the bottom of the screen on this item here, I have a camera button, and thank you, Heatherlyn. If I click the camera button, it opens up the camera of my phone, and I can put my screen, let me bring up a menu that I have here. There we go. If I open up a menu here, which is in Spanish, and I hover over it, it will take, and then take a picture, it will show me the translated words. So I have, here we go, Calido. Oh, wait, I have to switch it to Spanish, that's why. The top I have Spanish. And see the Spanish. Come here. Spanish, there we go. So Spanish to English, better. There we go. So we have pasta, garlic, white beans, potatoes or tomato, ham. This is my price notes. I can see kidneys. They're $1.50 in euros. Chops, natural pork. So by using the camera, if I have any signs, menus, or anything that I want to read that are in a different language, I can use the camera on this item here to in order to see the what's being printed in front of me. I can also take a picture if I don't have time to stand there and hover over it and see what is on what is available. On the top right, it's still sharing. On the top right of my screen is a picture of me, which is the icon of my Google Translate. If I click on that, I can see my saved transcripts. I have history of all my transcripts of things that I've translated. And I also have downloaded languages. Downloaded languages is key because you don't always have availability of cell phones, Wi-Fi. And if you're going to be somewhere and you know you're going to use these translation services, it's a good idea to download that language by clicking on the arrow to the far right and downloading that language so you have it available to you to use. Now I'm going to stop sharing this screen a moment. We'll go back to Zoom. I'm going to leave this one because I'm just going to use this on its own. So let me highlight the speaker. Okay. All right. So with my phone now, I'm going to use the Google Translate because it wasn't doing well inside of the Zoom, but I wanted you to see where those controls are. So now if I go back into the same application and I will do the conversation mode. And when I say that,
ABC Mouse.
it will start to recognize, hi, thank you for helping me today. I really appreciate the directions to the local museum.
Hola, gracias por ayudarme hoy. Realmente aprecio las direcciones al museo local.
De nada. Gracias.
You're welcome, thank you.
So it will translate back and forth for you. I like this. It sounds a little bit wooden, but it's not bad. And if you're traveling somewhere and you just want to know, like they're speaking too fast and they're, you just can't keep up. Like that happens to me a lot, especially if someone, we're talking about Puerto Rico before. I have a very hard time understanding Puerto Rican Spanish because it's very, very fast. I will take out my Google Translate and I will hit that yellow button in order to have it translate. Okay. So the other translation app that's out there is something called Microsoft Translator. And I'm going to share my screen so you can see what it looks like. And this one is clearer and has a really nice guidebook in it. So with this one, let me just join the iPad here a second. Join. Bam. go. A minute. Just bring my phone back in here. Got it. Share. Screen. Start now. Okay. So we're back into my phone. The other translation app that I like to use, and both of these are free, is this green one called Translator. It's Microsoft Translator. And this one I feel is the Cadillac of the translation services, because it does differentiate between dialects if you're traveling somewhere. So there's a big difference between Spain and the Spanish spoken in Madrid to Caracas, Venezuela. So on this one here, it has the same little microphone for just speaking out loud. It has the conversation button over here, so you can start a conversation with someone like we were doing before. But what I really like about this one is at the very bottom of the screen is a book. And if I click on the book, it has a quick and easy phrase book for me in the language that I chose. So I'm going from English to Spanish. And if you can see here, I have favorites, which are ones that I've saved, essentials. And you'll see I don't speak Spanish. Is there an ATM? Where's the toilet? Over here, dining. I would like breakfast. I would like a snack. I would like some water. So it gives you, I'm going to see, I would like breakfast. It gives you the properly written Spanish. It gives you the phonetic way of saying this, quisiera cenar. And then it also gives you the speaker for having it spoken out loud and a copy button. So if you want to copy it and paste it into a text message or an email, you could do that. The emergency one is critical if you're traveling, because if you have an injury or you're not feeling well, or you'd like some help communicating with medical services, you can use this in order to speak with medical staff or EMTs that you may encounter. I don't like to think that that would happen, but I like that this quick emergency drop down is here and ready to go. You can even talk about your health. So this one, I like if I'm traveling and I'm traveling somewhere where I'm going to have to speak different languages. I use Google Translate for just quick and easy, and the camera is very, very good. But the translator, I like to have as like, if there's an emergency, I want to be able to click that little book at the bottom right of that app in order to communicate. And I'm going to stop sharing this one so you can hear the difference in translation there. So stop share. Okay. So now that I'm not sharing, I can use this. Leave this meeting. There we go. And back. Trying to see it. Okay, so here's my phrase book, and I'm going to go into the emergency. And I'm going to say, I need to check your blood pressure.
Necesito revisar tu presión sanguínea.
Okay, or I was in an accident.
He tenido un accidente.
So it's a good emergency phrase book to have while traveling. I like to prepare for all kinds of issues. There we go. So I'm going to look at the chat. There's a couple of questions here. Can I show the menu translate again with the camera? Sure. And can we use the App Store on our iPhones and search Google Translate to download? Yes, you can. Google Translate is in the App Store, and so is Microsoft Translator. Both of those are available for free to download. There's no cost and there's no ads either. So it's very good to have. So the menu, again, if I'm in either one of those apps, they both have a camera at the very bottom. I'm going to go into Google Translate here a second. So Google Translate, at the very bottom of my screen, there's two blue buttons, two purple buttons either side of the big one. One of them is a little camera. And when I turn on the camera, it's just like I'm going to take a picture, and all I do is hover over whatever foreign language is in front of me, and it will translate that foreign language. So you just turn on the camera on the bottom of that. The best thing to do with all of these apps and these websites is to go in and play. And Teresa asked, do you need Wi-Fi to use in a foreign country that doesn't have cell phone service? You don't if you download the language to your phone. It can stand alone. So it's helpful to have the Wi-Fi, but if you know you're not going to be near Wi-Fi, like if you're going to be hiking or, out and, shopping in the markets, or you don't want to pay for the roaming charges, you don't need the Wi-Fi. You need to go into the settings of the app and look for downloaded languages, and it'll give you a list of the languages that are available to download. Then you could be in airplane mode and it doesn't matter. So if you're on a flight somewhere and you want to talk to the flight attendants, or if you need help that way, you can use that. Or if you're out on a boat, the Amalfi Islands or wherever you just need and you don't have access, you can download it. Any other questions out there? Good question, Teresa. Okay. So, last thing I'm going to go into here, just as a quick go here screen. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go into Google Translate. On the web, and you'll see that they have a quick and easy Google Translator right here on their website. So you can type in Spanish or English here. But just below is this link that says open in Google Translate. If you click on that link, you get an even more robust way of exploring language. So if you happen to use this, you can cut and paste up to 5,000 characters, which is more than you get on the phone. You can upload documents. So if you have a PDF or some documents for travel, or you have a brochure and it's in a different language, you can browse your computer, upload it, and it will translate the language for you. So I think here in Wake Wolf, I have let's see, right here, PNM. I think there was one here, the night. There we go. This one here, this is in Spanish. So I'm going to say translate the Spanish to English. Hit translate. And it will translate the document for me. I hit download translation. you'll see that this is in English. And my original here's the original. Was in Spanish. So here's La Noche en traducir. So you can quickly translate and it will keep the formatting for you as well. So, and this is also very helpful if you have family or family documents or history that you would like to retranslate. It will work even with handwritten letters and notes. So if you have old notes from maybe your great grandmother who was originally came here from Italy, you can upload that document and have it translated back for you. So cursive, if it's very, very scrolly, it will have some trouble with that. But as long as it's very close to block lettering, it will translate handwritten messages as well for you. And so, there we go. It looks like back to the gallery. Yes, this will be available, BJ. We have, it was recorded and it will be part of the Columbia County Library website, correct?
You can get it on the Rojan Library as well. The Rojan Library website, yes, as well.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I covered everything I was going to cover tonight. As always, I'm always the last one to leave. So if you have any questions, I'm not going to leave until everyone's question is answered. If you did come tonight, thank you very much. You're free to go at any time. You don't have to stay to the very, very end. Thank you. I hope you found something. I hope you're going to go and explore the world, either virtually or in real life, and have a great time doing it. I hope you enjoy your summer. And thank you again for having me. If you have any questions, you can always email me as well. I'm glorypam@gmail.com. So if you think of a question later and I didn't cover it, send me an email. I'll write back. I'm very good about that. And I
you can
enjoy
also
getting
write
the questions.
You can also write the library or to me, and we can also send it over to Pam. However we can communicate, we can all do it together.
I can see your lips moving back, but I can't hear you.
You can't hear me.
I don't know
That's
what's
terrible.
wrong.
I don't know either.
Might be on my end.
I don't know. Can anybody else hear
Might be
me?
on my end.
Can everybody else hear me?
I'll put the email in the chat for you, Teresa. There you go.
Nobody can hear me, Pam. It's terrible.
Oh, I know why I can't hear you. I muted my computer because I was getting feedback on my phone.
But I don't know if anybody else can hear me.
I can hear you.
Oh,
Yeah, I
thank
can
you.
hear you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what I did say was that everybody can also email me, or through the invitation, you can email the library. Anybody can get a hold of Pam, or any questions that you have, we can certainly get them answered to Pam or through us as well. And I want to say thank you, Pam, for all the years that you've been doing this, and for everybody that's still on. We hope to be back in the fall if Pam is willing and able and loves us still. We will do it again in the fall. She likes to take the summers off, as we all do, just to have more fun and travel if we want to do that. And we'll hopefully do this again September, I guess. We'll see how it goes. But thank you, everybody, for this wonderful winter session. It was great.
I'd love to come back in September, do some more stuff. If you have any ideas, please, or you have, thoughts of
Definitely.
things you'd want to explore, or questions, Excel, whatever, just send the note to Beth or tell Tammy or any of the ladies at the library.
It's true. True. Pam and I brainstorm before each season and kind of go through a bunch of different offerings. So if you have ideas, let us know.
Pam, would you
Alexa,
mind
stop.
repeating your email?
I can also teach you about voice activated stuff like this Alexa that likes to interrupt me and tell me things that are absolutely unrelated to anything that I'm doing in my life. But she also opens my garage door, which is helpful.
Hey, there you go.
So
Thanks, Martha.
very helpful.
What did, I'm
All right.
sorry, somebody had a
So-
question just now.
That was me. Could you repeat your email,
Linda,
Pam?
I'm so sorry. I think I'm gonna pop in and pop back out because I'm having some audio issues.
it's
So
okay. I'm
stay
gonna-
here, Linda. I'm gonna leave, but I'm coming back. I want to hear your
Linda, I will
question.
tell you, it's Glory Pam, GLORYPAM.
Be right
at
back, because
Gmail.
even you, Beth, are a little bit out, in and out.
Ah.
Hang on.
All right, put it in the chat. Yeah. Anyway, people are dropping off, so I think Pam will come back. You should have her email, or I will certainly send it to everybody if you like.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, you
I
got
got
it.
it the second time. Thank you.
Great. That's great. That's great.
Thank you very much for this. Have a great evening.
Yes, have a great travel weekend and a travel summer. We hope.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sure.
Pam, I think we got it.
Connect.
We got, Linda got your email and everybody else I think has it. And I will certainly send it to everybody if they, you know, why not? Send it in the next email. So,
oh, fantastic.
yeah.
All righty. So very good. That was weird. All of a sudden, it was like you guys were underwater.
That's okay.
But thank you.
We traveling to the ocean.
My husband doesn't like olives, so he just gave me all
Can you tell?
me.
Hey Pam, have a great summer. I hope to see you around the neighborhood.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I
you.
hope you go travel somewhere with your phone.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I learned a lot today, so this is great.
Yeah, cool. Like I said, it's a fun thing that's, you know, I just kind of like really high level, but I think if you really play with the travel site and stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. So thank you for that.
All righty. Take care now.
Bye, everybody. I think we got Marie left,
Bye.
Anita, but they're gonna hang up soon. So thanks, Pam. Thanks
Okay.
again.
All right.
Bye,
Take care.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.